Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Serving the Community podcast. My name is Trisha Stetzel and I'm the owner of Results Extreme Business Solutions and also the founder of Serving the Community. The purpose of this podcast is to highlight people and organizations in our communities that are serving through volunteer work and giving back to make our community, our country, and even the world a kinder place to live. The guest that I have on the show today was introduced to me by a great mutual friend, Regina Wagner. Thank you, Regina, for introducing me to this gentleman who is doing so much in the community. We had to decide before the show what exactly we are going to talk about. Alex Fleming with Edward Jones is on the show with me today. Welcome, Alex.
How's everybody doing?
I'm so happy that you're here. So the conversation that we had a few weeks ago started with the university is planting trees, and we just kept digging into that. So talk to me about how you got involved in the first place, and let's start with the tree planting, and it will blossom from there.
So I actually graduated from University of Houston, so it's got a special place in my heart. And then, I wanted to go ahead and start giving back. I finally got to the place where I was able to. I had extra time, extra resources, and I just want to be able to give back because I was in a place, where I needed help whenever I was at the university. And if I can help anybody along the process, I'd be more than happy to. And I connected with an individual named Cougar. So it's a very nice lady, very awesome, very kind heart. And she had allowed me to participate in some of the meetings, and we've kept in contact since. So that's kind of how I got involved with the Bauer alumni and how I progressed where we are today.
Okay, that's awesome. So let's talk about the first thing because it's coming up in the next few weeks and it's planting trees. So tell me about that activity.
So it's just something that they do. It's going to be on February 19th. Because of COVID, they can't have too many people there, but there's all kinds of different ways that you can get involved. And it's just planting trees at the university, helping the ecosystem essentially, and just giving our part.
That's great. And it's such a beautiful campus too. I'm glad that you guys are having that activity, although a little smaller, right? And I think at the end of the show, you'll give us some contact information for people to get involved in that activity or some of the other things that we're talking about. So as we dug into other things that are going on at the university, you were talking about some of the activities, events, or ways that you guys are giving back to the students. So talk to me a little bit about that.
So to start it off, we are putting together a quarterly newsletter that we're going to begin in February. That'll, if you would like to sign up with it, we'll be able to pass out information about coming events for the future and things of that nature. But something as far as the students go is, we're trying to start this program that allows us to directly and indirectly mentor students that are getting close to graduation. As you all know, your network's not very big whenever you're 20 years old or so coming out. So it's a way to allow these soon-to-be graduates to go ahead and further their network and their career opportunities. So that way, what they're going to school for, they can go ahead and flourish after school.
Yeah, that's great. So tell me more about that. If I'm a student and I happen to be listening to this show, how do I engage in that mentorship?
So the first step is getting postgraduates on board to be available for one-on-one, mentoring and not necessarily tutoring in the terms of books, but going ahead and just teaching and educating and actually partnering with a specific student that they either know or that we can go ahead and match you with. In order to just kind of give you a little bit more guidance and have an extra resource as you progress through starting your career and getting really on board and starting your new life in that next chapter. So it would just be reaching out to the Alumni Association and seeing if they had any mentorees available.
So is it, I want to make sure I understand it. So is it a student to student mentorship as well as a student to alumni mentorship?
No, so the basis of it's going to actually be student to alumni. Okay. The students will be able to interact if so, but it's really designed more for a mentoring and for an actual alumni to be able to connect with the actual students.
Oh, that's awesome. So talk to me about the activity. Have you been able to connect? Have you been a mentor?
No, I have not
Not yet.
actually. I just got invited and just started, getting my foot in, if you will. So not yet, but I do look forward to it.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. So I'm guessing like if I'm a marketing student and I'm getting close to graduation, I get involved in this mentorship program that I would hopefully get connected with someone who's in marketing. Is that
Yes, that would be the idea, is be able to have the resources that align with your career path or whatever it is you're choosing to explore. Kind of like myself, and it doesn't have to be just marketing to marketing. Kind of like myself, I actually went between three different majors, and I really wanted to learn more about different opportunities. So that's kind of part of it as well. I mean, most people don't just have one career forever. Some of us do. Some of us, that is the plan, as myself. But I mean, we know I'm not too far off. At a young age, you're not exactly 100% sure. So it allows you to have resources and insight to be able to explore those without having to fully go after it, essentially, until you're ready to make that decision. So if that gives a little bit more insight and context.
Yeah, that's awesome. So the University of Houston alumni is the one really responsible for, it's the group that's really responsible for this mentorship program.
The Bauer, is
The Bauer.
specifically the Business
Okay.
School Alumni Association, and they do partner with the other alumni associations. They've been campaigning and doing it with them as well. But this is for specifically the Bauer Alumni Association.
Okay. That's wonderful. What else do you have on your list? I know you had this growing list of things that you wanted to get out there and tell the community about and the way people can get involved.
So another way is, it's actually beginning in March. This is going to be a quarterly food drive where the drop-offs in the Heights, and it's just to help out, families in need, especially in these trying times in COVID. A lot of people have been losing their jobs. It's sad, but there's been, life's been unfolding, right? So it's our way to give back and just offer food to families that are in need, essentially.
Yeah, I see as I talk to people serving the community over the past few months, I'm really seeing a couple of different ways that people can get involved. One is monetary, right? But not everybody has money to give. They may have a few items in their pantry, however, right, to participate in a food drive, or they may have time that they can give back. All of these things are important as we talk about serving the community. There are multiple ways that people can get involved. And I love that you're kind of hitting all of those areas with the things that you're involved in.
Absolutely. And one other, speaking of that monetary, if you are in that fortunate position to be able to give back monetarily, we actually do have a scholarship endowment fund that we're trying to grow and be able to help out more students more and more every year. So donations are more than acceptable and more than welcome. But like you said, even if it's just time, that makes a difference in people's lives. So we appreciate either or. I just wanted to mention the endowment fund that we have created as well.
That's wonderful. So I everyone has a reason for getting involved. I understand you even said you went to the university, you had this calling, right, to give back to the university that you came from. What is it about serving that really gives you that fulfillment?
Well, it really goes back, like you just said a moment ago, your reason why, right? And there's a lot of reasons why I do everything I do. A big part of it has to do with family. But the other reason is I want to do it for myself. And I want to do it for my community as well. Those are really the big three whys for me. And the community's, obvious as well, helping out your students and your young people that are going to grow and be the future, and helping out students in the local college, right? And then to myself as well, I want to make a difference. I want to help these individuals. I want to do what I can. And, I put myself in a position to have different resources I can use and utilize. And if I can pass that along, just to help out people, it'll just make me feel better inside. That I'll be able to, I told you I have a new little newborn. I'll be able to tell them, hey, look, dad did this, right? And whenever I look at it at the end of the day, when I'm 70 or so, you'll be able to look back and say, I impacted, I touched these lives, I made that difference, right? So those are really my three whys: family, community, and then, I tell a lot of people this: you wake up and go to sleep as one person, you got to make that person proud also. So that's another reason why. And I just want to be able to give back and make a difference, because so many people made a difference in my life to allow me to be where I'm at. So you have to acknowledge that fact and be able to reciprocate and give it back, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you and I had that conversation, right, a couple of weeks ago about how, if we expect things out of our community when we're in need, then we should be giving back when we can, right, in
Absolutely.
ways that we can, whether it is in time, in kind, or monetarily. Did I miss anything on your list? Because I know you have so many things that you're involved in. Is there anything else that you wanted to get out there before we get into how do people get in touch with the people that are running these programs?
That's kind of it for the near future. Because COVID, things are a little limited. We can't be as interactive and interpersonal as we would like to be, as we usually are. But those are kind of the big things that we are doing in the next 2 quarters or so. But like I said, if they want to sign up for the newsletter, there will be many, many more things to come that they'll be able to learn about in that back half of the year and for years to come as well.
Okay, perfect. So let's talk about how do people get involved? Who do they get in contact? Where should they be looking? Do you have a website, a phone number, a person? And I promise to put this in the show notes so that people can click and get where they need to go. But if you'll voice that now, that would be great.
Absolutely. There's multiple members, but the one that's really good as far as communication and making sure that everybody gets involved, her name's Pilar Sosa. As I mentioned before, super sweet lady, super kind heart. And feel free to reach out to her on LinkedIn or however else. But the engagement committee also has an email. It's BauerAlumni.engage@gmail.com. And if you email them, just say, hey, this is so-and-so from wherever. I'd love to get involved, and I was just reaching out to see if any way I can help. And if there's a specific thing, such as the mentoring, such as the food drive, just make sure to mention that as well, so that way we can try and facilitate that and get it taken care of as promptly as possible.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. And they can say they saw it on Serving the Community.
Absolutely. I appreciate this opportunity, Tricia.
Absolutely. Alex, thank you so much for being on the show with me today. I really enjoy the energy that you put out there and the ways that you're giving back to the community and helping young people become successful entrepreneurs, right? I think that's really what this is about. It's about helping the next generation.
Absolutely, Trish. And it was my pleasure being on today. I appreciate the opportunity and for your time. And thank you for bringing me on the show.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Maybe we could do a whole nother show about all the other topics that we talked about. We could probably do 3 shows. Well, thank you again, Alex, for being on. Regina Wagner, shout out to you. Thank you for introducing me to Alex. He's a wonderful, giving, serving man, and he was a pleasure to have on the show. And that concludes this week's podcast, Serving the Community. Thank you.